Hello, welcome to White Gardening and Worm Farm. If you like my channel, please press the subscribe button. At this moment, I'm supposed to be preparing for my live, which is going to be in the next 2 hours. But today the temperature is right. It is a bit overcast, so the day is cool, and I won't have time to transplant these because the days are going to be hot that follows today. And so if I'm going to be transplanting, it would have to be around 9:30 at night when it's cool, because I like to allow my plants to have several hours of cool weather before I actually transplant them. So I just transplanted my callaloo, or amaranth as some call it, and just got this whole prep for my Japanese yam. But as I took out the first plant to transplant it, look at what I see, guys. It is actually producing already. Can you imagine that? Well, given that I planted these in January, then yes, I can imagine that they will be producing. But this is so good. I'm quite excited. So now I'm gonna plant it, and I hope I get a really nice harvest. But now I guess that means I'm gonna have to make the hole a little bit bigger. I've never planted sweet potatoes with anything with potatoes growing on them before, so this is quite interesting. Okay, this is quite interesting indeed, and exciting too. Let's see. Okay, I think I need to get a different bucket with compost. The one I have is too damp in the bottom because of the rain. So I already have Epsom salt and castings in the holes for this thing. I don't know much about growing Japanese yam, so I am not sure if I put more than one location of it, more than one portion of it in the soil, if it will produce potatoes in those two locations. We will see, but I don't want to. I'm not going to cut the plant though, because I don't think that would be a good idea once the plant already start producing. But I'm going to bury another portion of the plant to see if by doing so it will produce any fruit in that location. So I'm just going to bury a portion of it and see what happens there. So this is another experiment of mine, and I think I'm only going to do that with that one particular plant. Okay, now on to the next, but I am gonna have to be careful now, since as I see that that one is reproducing, or producing, that is, but I don't expect to see the same result from all of them because that plant was pretty big. I don't want to damage the root of the plant either. Let's see. I don't know if these are the runny type or if they're the bushy type. If they're the runny type, then wherever the vine touches the soil, it's gonna produce roots and eventually sweet potatoes. But I don't know if I have enough growing time remaining for that to happen, where any new root that is produced will actually give me sweet potatoes. But anyway, I'll show you after I'm finished what this garden looks like. So I'm finished planting out my Japanese purple yam and my sweet potatoes. So from here up until here, that's my Japanese yam, and from here down to the end of the garden, that's my sweet potatoes. So what have I learned? Well, this variety of purple Japanese yam that I have, oh, there's a mosquito on my hand biting me. I guess the season has begun for them. That's the third bite. So yes. So what I've learned is these variety of purple yam that I have, they reproduce very quickly, which means that if I'm going to be growing them whether from skin or from propagating the slips, I have to have them in larger containers or fewer in the size containers that I'm using, because depending on when I start growing them, they're going to be reproducing very quickly. So that's what I learned. So now I just have to wait and see what size Japanese sweet potato I'm going to be getting and how many of them I'm going to be getting from each plant. So that's what I learned about this variety of purple Japanese yam or purple sweet potato. So for my Jamaican sweet potatoes, and the only reason why I call it Jamaican is because the potatoes were shipped directly from Jamaica. We bought it from the Jamaican store, so that's the only reason why I call it Jamaican. Yes, so what I've learned is that these sweet potatoes do not reproduce as quickly as those. So these might be the 6 months variety. There wasn't any young sweet potatoes growing on any of these ones. So there you have it, the Japanese yam, the variety at least that I have, they reproduce quickly. So quite a few of them actually had Japanese yam growing on them. None of them were as big as the first one that I took out, but they all were producing. So I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see what the final outcome is going to be for these plants. I see a wasp around that raised bed that they lived under last year. I haven't seen any of them coming from underneath there this year, but I'm seeing one flying around it, so I'm hoping it's not thinking about going to make a nest. But then it could be that they are trapped in there, because over the fall I added mulch, wood chip mulch, to around the raised beds, so it could be that they're trapped in there and can't get out. I don't know, but hopefully it won't go underneath there, find a way underneath there to make a nest. Anyway, back to what we were saying. So I'm going to be giving you an update on what's going on with these sweet potatoes. I was hoping to have some from the same container that I planted these from to put over into that raised bed that is going to have my corns and sweet potatoes, but I ran out of these. I'm a bit scared of what's going to happen with the other set of sweet potatoes that I have, because these are among those that were affected by the fungus gnats, so they don't look as well. So I don't know how well they're going to be producing, but anyway, I'm going to be planting them out and see what happens. So if you enjoy my video and you would like to see more updates on what's going on, please take a moment to leave a comment in the section below and give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on your notification for more updates like these. Thank you so much for watching and have yourself a wonderful day. Yeah man, time for grow.